Hi, I'm Dr. Elerod Morris, aka Dr. Digital, and welcome to the Teachers Lounge podcast, where great educators do amazing things. What's good, Ms. Davis? How you doing?
Hey, Doc.
Good to see you. Thank you for joining the podcast, the Teachers Lounge. I'm excited to have you. You blessing us with your presence real quick, even though I know like you're busy. The school year's about to start again for all these students, right? So I had to pull you away real quick so I can get this interview in, because I got to pick your brain about digital literacy in the classroom.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So before we start, won't you please tell the audience who you are, all of who you are.
Wow.
Starting from where you're from,
Absolutely.
where you teach at and work and everything, and then what you also would like to provide any extracurricular information about what you do in the community and what you teach.
Man, that's a whole lot. So my name is Shannon Davis the first. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, Brownsville. I did my undergrad at Long Island University, home of the Blackbirds. I have my master's degree from A&T, North Carolina A&T State University, Aggie Pride. I also have a bachelor's degree in business management from Wesleyan.
Ooh.
And I'm just excited to finally be in the classroom. So I've been an educator, this is year 13, and coming from corporate America and understanding the need for brown faces to be seen in upper management. So the goal was to leave management to go back to the school to train them up so they could take a seat at the table or make the table if necessary.
I don't even know why I even did the introduction. That was good. Oh man, that's dope, man. So what do you teach now?
I teach computer engineering,
Okay.
but I also taught, so I'm certified as a business educator, but my undergrad was in computer science. So if you can imagine a little black girl like myself taking computer science, 1989, I was the only one. I was the only black person. I was the only female as well. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, had some of the men doing my work for me, but nevertheless, it was very hard because people saw me not inside of that space. So that space was not protected by no means. And so when I first got my first job, I remember moving into the space where I'm just kind of in a cubicle working, and I hated it. So my other major is actually statistics and business management. And so I kind of went that route. And so in that space, I was able to create an identity for myself, but also make money so I can always give back to the organizations that I love that will empower black folk as well as girls that are coming that pathway.
Spoke about, your experience as a woman in the tech industry, being the only one in 1989. And we've seen growth, right, in the tech industry with women, and this huge movement right now, at least for the past 5 to 10 years, of women being, more into tech. What is your view?
The classrooms still look the same, though.
Still look the same?
The classrooms still look the same. So in a classroom, we still, I teach computer engineering, and I have like 6 classes. So I have 1 young lady in my first class, 0 in my second class, 2 in my third class. So it's really up to us to empower females to feel comfortable in this space. That's one of the things I liked about working at the middle school. Because at the middle school, I could tap into them a little bit heavier because they say inside of the data actually shows that if a female is not interested in STEM, by the time she gets to 8th grade, she probably will not do it.
Wow.
So you have to kind of follow those numbers and follow that data. And so that's the precipice of where I'm at now. Trying to get females to be more interested. So I kind of drag females into my classes, bribe a couple of them, pay them $1 or $2 to have them take that class. I do have some young ladies that I do mentor. I have one get ready to graduate from A&T, as a matter of fact. She's finishing up her Bachelor of Science. I have a Latino male that I work with. He actually get ready to work on his master's in cybersecurity as well at Duke University. So the goal is to be a mentor.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So you talked about mentorship and how important it is in the classroom, and also getting kind of like to that root cause by going to the middle schools, which is the feeder schools, right? Which is super smart. What is your insight on digital literacy in the classrooms, along with the impact?
Digital literacy. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Northeast. So Northeast is actually an academy or a learning system, and it's actually situated inside of a Title I school. And so the goal, and they put it here, this Signature Academy here for a reason, is because of this part of Guilford County schools where there's a high level or high number of brown people are not being exposed at a impactful level. That's why the Signature Academy is here. So digital literacy. The other part I spoke to the director about was it has to happen at the middle school level. We have to find a way to get those students to step into this program. I even spoke a long time when I was working with Dr. Contreras, who was actually on her supervisory board when they were starting the Signature Academies, and there has to be a way to get it at the elementary school level. Because when you hit them early, you plant those seeds and you can watch them grow. Just for instance, like my son. I taught my son how to put together a computer when he was 2 years old. So now he has that information. He likes to build. He's doing what he has to do. And, he's a forensic research scientist.
Oh, that's hard. Oh, man, that's a bar. So you got your kids into the...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this summer, I actually have my own program, and I have four of my relatives.
Okay.
Because, we got to really impact our family, right?
Right.
In order for them to be the next generation, truthfully. So one is 14, 16, 15, and 17. They like steps. And so the 15-year-old, she's actually at Grimsley High School. I got her into computers. She just finished up her first computer science courses. Nailed it with a 98. So she's like my hope for tomorrow, big time. But she's we have to get more females because the females, we understand, is more lingual, right? So the more females we get inside the program, the more they can really, really go out into the community. I'm not saying that males can't do it, but they not that vocal piece, that megaphone in the community. It's females.
I agree. So with social economic learning, with digital literacy integration, can you speak about a little bit of how they work together?
It has to work synonymous. So one of the great things that Guilford County had done before COVID was that they implemented a program where teachers had to have digital literacy learning certifications, right? And so they implemented it first at all Title I schools. So all Title I schools have one-to-one devices. And so I'm only touching upon that because I was a trainer. And so showing teachers really how to incorporate it. Not just use it as a PowerPoint tool, but how do you really incorporate it in the classroom? How do you make students, because they have this device in their hand, utilize that device at home? That's when we get to the next, the biggest bang for the buck, is that the students are at home, they're doing work at home, they're showing their families and probably their parents who's never been introduced to anything digitally, and so they become the trainers inside of the household.
Yes, so it trickles down.
Exactly, and up.
And up, yes. And career-wise, too.
Absolutely.
So somebody, say one of your students,
absolutely,
flourishes, into the career field, and they're in that type of social economic household with the, so like a mother and a father who makes like 30 grand a year.
It's the game changer.
Yeah.
It's the game changer, and that's what, when we talk about the digital divide, when it comes to brown people and brown families, that is the game changer, and that's actually how I sell the program. So one of my students that I mentor, she actually finished up a master's, and it's cool for them to come back. And so now I'm like, yo, how much money you make now? She's like $220,000. I'm like, what? What?
That's a bar.
Yes, I'm like, what?
Donate.
Yeah, that's exactly what all of my students I mentor, when they go out into the world, they come back, they know. Starbucks, grande non-fat caramel macchiato. I get the same thing I've been drinking the same drink for 25 years. Same drink. It don't cost the same. It started at $2.30. It's now $6.13. I got one this morning.
All right. So with that being said, with the explanation, can you, in the classroom, right? We got STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, right? We know what those are.
Exactly.
But what about the other courses like history, English, PE, well, physical education, and art, like those type of classes?
So I think,
how do we bring technology to those?
Unfortunately, like it comes top down.
Yeah.
So the school I was at previously, that was a necessity. We had to collaborate with each other. So I'll give you a perfect example. I wrote a curriculum called Black Wall Street. And so in a Black Wall Street, you're talking about, I came from it from an entrepreneur standpoint. The music teacher came from it from an artistry standpoint, so they did pieces of music from that. And so we all made a video at the end of the curriculum or the end of the semester, and that was our final showpiece where they actually did a speakeasy. It was so dope. But it was all of us working together, planning together, but time was allowed for that to happen. There was no ceilings on us to work together, so it wasn't like, oh, y'all can't do this, y'all can't say that. We gave my former principal the title, Black Wall Street. So we already knew what was gonna kind of happen. And I don't know if you ever listened to Strange Fruit. That was part of the curriculum with Nina Simone. And it was approved. I mean, so it was about us being us educators being more creative, taking initiative, and collaborating instead of the competition piece.
You know what? How come schools don't do that more often?
Leadership.
You know?
It's all in the leadership.
Yeah, that's a bar. So, in the next 5 to 10 years, what is your prediction of what?
AI. All day. AI.
For a digital learning standpoint?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is it harmful or helpful for us in 5 to 10 years?
It depends on how we look at it. I mean, we could stay. I remember having a marketing teacher, and he said, and he was a millionaire, and he said there are 3 types of people. There are people that make things happen, watch things happen, and then wonder what the hell just happened. He said you don't want to be in that third category. The United States is in that third category as we speak. And so it's up for us to encourage, and I'm going to say brown people, to understand that the whole global world is our oyster. When we look at other countries that's getting it, like India. India was a third world country. They're producing everything. They're producing everything. The United States have it, but they just think that, they have the money and they don't have to produce these students to really take over the world. They're already doing it in India.
And we outsource.
Don't even talk about Nigeria. They're getting it.
Yes. And we outsource.
Absolutely. There's nothing here.
Yes.
There's nothing here. There's nothing here. The only thing we make now is guns.
So what is your both sides take on the AI part in the classroom for like the next 5? Give me both sides if you can.
I would say me personally, I'm a type of person, I can learn on my own. Give me what I need, let me do my business and be out. I don't like to download. I don't even like teachers talking to me. I don't do a whole lot of talking. I give them project-based learning, and that's my biggest thing. All the things you need to know, I'm gonna put it in Canvas. We're gonna do more hands-on. So one of the things I learned when I took a trip to Africa and I was dealing with some students is that they can memorize a textbook. They have the whole textbook. Ask them what's on page 30 and they'll recite it. But now you put a computer in front of them, they can't put it together. So they're missing application. That's the biggest thing. So we have everything we need in the palm of our hands for our scholars to really thrive. But they don't have the heart. And they don't have the gut.
Oh, you're dropping gems out here. Dropping gems. So, it's hard to... this is going to be fire, boy, I'm trying to tell you. So, I got one more question to ask you. It's clear that our youth live in different versions of the metaverse than we do. How can we establish relevant content in our lesson plans that connect the attention and the social experience of our students?
Man, that's so dope, because I was watching the BET Awards and I love Busta Rhymes.
I think it was lit, wasn't it?
And yes, Busta Rhymes nailed it. He nailed it. He talked about how successful he was and how people brought him in and showed them what it looks like. But now you have students, or you have the next generation like, yo, that's old, that's played out. So we have to kind of retune and refine ourselves. And so I think it's really, really cool for me personally. You know, for me, I'll be 52. I'll be 52 this year. And I think that I try to stay as current as possible.
Yeah.
And I stay current by talking to the students. I mean, I know everything. Listen,
Everything.
ask me what's going on.
Everything.
They gonna tell me everything. I know the latest dances. I know all the little acronyms inside of their little chats. You cannot think that you're on that mountain, because you're gonna die on that mountain by your daggone self.
True, very much true. So educators better stay with it.
They have to. They have to stay so current.
Yeah. What is your intake or your take on cell phones in classrooms?
I hate them.
You hate them? You think it's necessary?
No. The reason, look at all these classrooms. Everything that they actually need is here.
Well,
So the cell phones.
what about English? Like, say this ain't. I mean, this is tech class, but
Every student has a laptop.
Oh,
So we have one-to-one devices. So there's no need for a cell
I
phone.
see.
Cell phones are definitely a distraction, because our students haven't been taught how to use cell phones. So they have, cell phones are probably one of the most powerful tools in the palm of your hands. But if they're not looking for the correct information, then that's where we're going to have an issue with education and learning. So that's, I make them shut it down. They have to shut it down.
You think, so what about social media in the classroom? You use that?
Nope.
No? I know some educators use social media.
I don't use social media on the classroom, because social media itself is too much. It's too much. We had a lot of different constraints when I was growing up, but now everything is out there. And there's certain things, if you're dealing with parents, because you got to be really, really conscious of the students that are here. You have parents that still don't allow their kids to have social media.
Right.
So I don't want to be that person to break their social media virginity by letting them get on. And now they done found everything. I don't get into all of that. We do have, I do want to teach, and I do teach them how to use it respectfully, and show them about their digital footprint.
Yes.
And it doesn't go away. So when they see that, they're more conscious. So that's like week one before we even really turn on the computers. We're talking about that. I go back to things that have happened 30 years ago. So they can say, yep, it's still there. It is still there. Michael Jackson fell off that stage. It is still there, and it's still live in action. So now when you're going into the career field, or you're trying to find your mate, and they pull up something that may have happened, that's social media. So you got to show them the good and the bad side. So I use social media, because I travel a lot internationally, and we have to connect, and that's one of the easiest ways for us to connect and keep up with each other. So I show them from that aspect.
That's awesome.
But
there's more.
I'm different, and I have businesses. So I bring my businesses into the classroom. So I'm not coming from an educator standpoint. So I think that's why I'm kind of like a unicorn in the building.
I see. Okay. Is there any special news you got coming up
Always.
that you want to throw out there?
Man, I'm always got something on that.
I know. But I'm just saying,
always
if you want to
have something on that. So I'm a member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. I am also a member of Nu Lambda Sigma, which is our sorors and the Ghana chapter. And we have gotten the go-ahead to break ground on our STEM school. And we got a couple of names floating out there. We're looking at Liberty University or the Liberty Freedom School. We're looking at a couple of different things like that. But our goal, of course, is to connect with our brothers and sisters in the continent of Africa. All the resources are there. They're just missing the application part that I talked about before. And honestly, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, there's a lot of money to be made.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna come. I'm going.
Oh, absolutely. Juneteenth. Birthright journey.
Birthright journey. I'm coming. So, this is, you gotta come back. You gotta come back for another interview.
Listen, when I come back, I'll bring back some of my students that I mentor, because I think there's a bunch of dope people out there.
Yes. We're gonna definitely run this back. We gotta spend the block twice on this.
Oh.
I told you I'd be in the classroom.
Listen, let me tell you, I'm in the classroom all day, joking around.
Yeah, so this has been great. I got to close up with a thank you. And was there anything positive you want to leave out there to anybody, maybe like a new teacher coming into education, any students that maybe want to be in the tech field, any young ladies, words of wisdom before we close out?
Man, well, I'm glad that you're doing this podcast, first of all, because it's good actually to see black men inside of the space where you are, and really encouraging. I'm glad that you're coming into the school from an entrepreneur STEM standpoint, and not from quote unquote, educators are broke, teachers are broke, and not from the broke teacher standpoint, right? I think it's imperative. It's imperative for us to show our next generation how to be rich in STEM, not just work in STEM, how to own their piece of the pie in STEM. And for new educators, get your side hustle. Stop waiting on GCS or Wake County to pay you a check.
Yo, I can't say no better than that, yo. This is the Teachers Lounge. I appreciate it. Yo, I'll let you later. We're great educators, do great things.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.